So you're at Andreessen Horowitz for Builders Day? What was that?
Yeah, yeah. We so like that usually sits in LA because they have a big office right in downtown Santa Monica. But the girl that's sitting next to me leads the relationship with Andreessen, and she just like heard me talking all day, and she's like, "Do you want to be the person that presents to them?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So just started doing that, and then yeah, went up to San Fran, went to their office yesterday, and
Let's
presented
go.
on all the services, and just a lot of energy in that building.
I can't imagine, dude.
Dude, kids
I
are
feel like you'd
young.
leave that
We're
building and just like a can you shake and then you open it up, right? Just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was they so, like, right, I present there on AWS, like, "Hey, you just got a bunch of funding, come build on us."
Wow.
And so, like, everyone's super psyched and yeah, crazy facility. Like that, and you walk in there, you're like, "Alright, I'm in the Bay. This is where it happens."
Any like specific highlights or things you learned or just vibe checks or
Um, I guess, like, I walked into there thinking I'd talk to a bunch of teams and they'd be doing, like, really, really crazy things. But, like, a lot of the use cases were, like, fairly simple that, like, no one has done well. Like, all the stuff that people didn't wanna do, like dentist
hmm,
billing, like, there's, like, a new one for, um, AI and legal where, like, this ex-patent lawyer was also an engineer, and now he's like, "Yeah, the patent process still sucks. No one's done it well, and I'm gonna do it." So I was like, that was kinda surprising that there was just, like, kinda easy to understand use cases, not like, oh, metaverse, like, computer vision where, like, it can read your lips and then do sentiment. Like, it was, like, none of that stuff, so that was interesting.
just good old boring business problems that are a lot of put a TAM of a lot of time.
Yeah, kinda makes sense to invest in that, right? Right?
Not as much as some really cool, AI iMessage chatbot company. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, yeah, so that was good. AWS is, more than a job, so that's always fun, just, like, traveling and working, but yeah, how was your week at work? Any
The last
anything you're
week.
obsessed with right now? Like, what's going on with you?
I mean, when we last chat, since we've chatted, the whole AI world is flipped upside down and everyone's grown a pair of orange claws,
Mhm.
Moltbot. So I got my iMac last Sunday, posted about it on LinkedIn. I got like 200 comments. So funny. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
tinkering with that. I tinkered with it so much to the point where actually I had to unplug it the last 3 days because I'm just like, I'm not set up enough on it to do my deep development product work.
Yeah.
It's like it's not there yet, even though it could be a big point of leverage for me. So I just kind of had to like literally unplug it because it was using a lot of my tokens. And
Right.
I'm gonna get back into it. I'm gonna host a claw meetup down in San Diego with
Yeah, you
SDX and
sent
try
me
to
that,
get
that's sick.
a bunch of nerds. I just was looking at the post from ClawCon. They had like 400 people show up in San Francisco. It was like yesterday, I think. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, ooh, jealous. I want that kind of energy, right? So I might like pivot on location because the one I have right now is kind of small. But I feel like people will come out of the woodwork for this if there's space, right? So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious to ask, like, as someone who's used Claude Code and has gone deep and kinda, like, understands the tools that, like, these things can kind of do anything, and then you kind of layer on top of being able to do anything and solve it 100 different ways to, like, okay, now you have, like, these other autonomous agents that are working together and bouncing ideas. Like, what to you is, like, the bread and butter use case? Like, yes, for product planning, road mapping, like, that'd be sick to have a team work together, but, like, what's, like, the no bullshit use case for that right now, you think?
For like my day job or just like it
Just in
by
general,
itself. Yeah.
like, experiencing Claude Code, what's the one thing, like, oh, it's just, like, you could use it for that right now?
Claude Code specifically.
No, Claude bot,
Oh,
the bot.
Claude bot. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Just making
Yeah,
sure.
it's like
Yeah. So
like, people don't even understand what's really happening. It's just, like, this thing that is blown up that, like, some people know about, like, if you had to just, like, boil it down, like, what would it be good at? Like, at a
yeah,
10,000 foot
yeah.
view.
So people are familiar with Claude Code, but curious why should I care about Claude bot? Got it. So
Yeah.
with that, I'd say it's this. It's online all the time. So automations can just be done whenever you want. You set it up once via MD file, and it will do it every time. So
Mhm.
that's great. It has its own like task tracking process. So you can now you can finally have a second brain kind of task manager across all context. So that's
Yeah.
beautiful. Consolidates it all into one. And then you can spin up these agents, right? And these agents can have dedicated tasks, tools, context, and things that they can do. And that becomes super powerful as it relates to like orchestration of certain things that you want to get done. So for me, what
Yeah.
I love about it is the memory system's really nice. It kind of bakes it in, one part file system, one part like RAG, a vector database, essentially. So it can do semantic search across all of your chats, all of your contexts, and it can also
Yeah.
do just grep. So it just is like, it's
Yeah.
kind of all these product patterns we see kind of in one package.
Yeah, 100%. And I think like one thing that kind of triggered in my mind for it is like, okay, like I feel like I can kind of do this with Claude. Like, what would I use this for? And I saw this post about a guy who gave a Telegram room full of different agents that had different personas, and their context was like a care manager, orthopedic surgeon, like a whole hospital of people. And then you would give it like a patient repository, like all the past notes, and just like you would upload with the patient, just like all the stuff. And they had to like argue and diagnose what's wrong, and it like ping ponged across. And like I don't know, the oncologists like admitted they were wrong. But like that solution pattern of like the LLMs like almost having flexibility through each other. I don't know if there's anything there, but like that use case made me think like, huh, you know, I don't have to do that work. Like you can just build all those personas and it will argue that like all the sharp edges out.
Yeah, totally. My mental model, the way I'm thinking about it right now is this. I mean, if I can fully delegate one area of work reliably to an agent, check. And then if I can get 3 agents to kind of take on an actual unit, a chunk of work, great. If I can go from 1 to 3, then why can't I go to 10,000?
Yeah.
Right? Like if the patterns between 1 and 3 are stable, then I feel
Hmm.
like there's a way to orchestrate and start to connect the dots
Yeah.
between these areas of work. But like it for me, it's the reliability, right? Of truly being able to like set these systems up and have them run and be in the loop less and less and less as you abstract. It's just like building out an organization, right?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
hire 50 people tomorrow. You kind of build your business through. So that's kind of like my North Star for this year is how many agents, and maybe it's too early to set that site. But last year it was instead of biking 7,000 miles, I put on my post, I was going to have 7,000 prompts and maybe 7,000 prototypes. And I think I came pretty close to those numbers, we'll say.
Holy shit.
But this year it's 10,000 agents. So that's my number.
1,000 agents. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So like I it was kind of interesting to see that blow up. And like I don't know, you follow the same Instagram and Twitter accounts I do. Like it blows up last week. We're all talking about it. Like everyone kind of plays with it over the weekend. And then you kind of see like a rebound of like, I don't know, the Ricochet AI accounts that kind of like repost stuff like after it kind of happened. So I feel like at Monday, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday, I was like kind of seeing posts. I was like, it was kind of funny. I was like,
I
maybe I
mean,
should just unfollow these accounts that are like, you know, it's probably just like an AI
uh,
bot that filtered it to some pictures. I was like, this happened like 5 days ago. So
what I also love about this are like I mean, maybe it's a little DJ, but like all the crypto bros coming on scene. I don't know if you've seen that too, but I feel like there's been this like
yeah, get them the
diffusion into
fuck
like
away. AI is already so much
society.
hype. You don't need the crypto bros. Just be like, yeah.
I mean, that's happening too, but it's like it's evolving, right? This isn't just another hype cycle. Like it looks a
Yeah.
little different.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that story kind of tailed off, you know, this week, and I feel like wasn't as much as a story.
Mm,
So kind of like pivoting to this week, but like the one thing that I thought was like the most important news was the downturn in FANG stocks, in bank, like all the stocks, as people start
mm,
to realize kind of the power of Claude models plus, you know, Claude code in that hype cycle, where like it's not like it's created a ton of revenue, and like it's not like a financial reporting, but like the hype of it alone, like the bankers are
mm.
like, you know, we need to sell some of Microsoft stock because this software is so good. And that happened across the board. I thought that was kind of like, you know, the biggest story because like, I don't know,
Wow.
it was the biggest drop in microshares. Like they lost a ton of market cap. It was like the biggest ever swing day for Microsoft.
I don't know why I see headlines and take them with a grain of salt, but like there really is it is a matter of fact that it's because of the echo of Claude bot and just Claude in general that has caused this. It's
Yeah.
determined that that is truly the trigger, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That like,
nuts.
yes, think about that. It's like people
Yeah.
just saying their shit is good. And then everyone else is like, holy stuff, their stuff is so good. So you don't have to play this enormous company for, you know, a Microsoft Copilot. Like, And then you have Satya Nadella like, hey, we're gonna redesign Copilot. We heard you.
A little too late,
And it's pretty
bro.
wild.
Good luck.
Yeah, and there's just like it's like everything matters, but nothing kind of matters because like even today it was announced that like Amazon was planning investing $50 billion in OpenAI, and it's just like that whole high stakes game is just like a whole world in itself.
It really
Like
is, man.
what the fuck is actually going on behind the scenes? Is someone who works on like the infrastructure team at AWS who is like, we're deciding who gets GPUs and like ordering and like seeing how many we have left, and like no one really knows what the fuck is like. It's not
It's like
like
we're
we
on
have like
rations.
insider whispers that like all this stuff is happening behind the scenes. It's like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, contrasting that with all these people buying Mac Minis and like running an AI agent endlessly for 24/7 when we don't have enough GPUs for like I don't know, just like yeah,
Yeah,
it's such a
yeah,
weird contrast there.
yeah. It is.
Um,
It is funny.
super crazy. No, that those
I actually meant to pull this up for the call. Let's see Aaron Levy's response to this because he's like the AI SaaS. Let's do a live response. So, uh, Twitter, it's happening.
Do you watch TBPN?
No, I've seen it though. I don't watch it. Should I?
They've had some good guests on lately. I think Aaron Levy was on it. I like Aaron Levy. He's been my like I didn't really follow him before AI.
This is a banger.
See it or hear it. Yeah, share screen.
Yeah,
Share audio too.
sweet. I think this is just kind of cap. That's what it feels like all the time. It's like anyone that like pays attention to things is just like there's so much stuff going on. So I actually didn't even see he didn't have like a yeah, it's more like extrapolation, no hot takes. I was looking for a real hot take here and I'm not seeing it.
The one I saw that was kind of similar the other day. Let me pull it up here real quick. I can't find it, but it's basically something along the lines of like a year ago oh, here it is. Yeah. It says when I tried to explain to normal people what I was seeing in AI a year ago, I felt like they saw me as an insane person losing touch with reality. Now I feel that way explaining what I see in AI to 80% of software engineers. The future
Yeah.
is going to be so crazy. Um, but yeah, it's like that group is even smaller of like what's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, I mean that's why our chats are always so good because we kind of see it the same way. But any what was your kind of like biggest headline of the week or anything notable?
In the ether or just personally AI stuff.
AI news.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's one big thing, two really big things. One, Anthropic released something called the knowledge worker skills on their GitHub. And so again, this topic of like, what is AI? How's it work? How do we use it? Even unlocking enterprise use cases, it's like just starting from zero is zero. But if we can take these enterprise use cases, right, these knowledge workers, it's like if you're a business owner to a company, you have a marketing department, you have a sales department, you have a department, which is a
Yeah.
folder for each of these skills, and then all the subtasks or areas of that department within it. So I just think it's a beautiful framework for activating on skills and getting started. Maybe it's not perfect day one for your process, but it kind of helps connect the mental model back
Yeah.
to using AI. So I love that. Obviously, super powerful, super bear or bullish on that combined with Cowork. Heard a lot of mixed reviews with Cowork. So that's one. Here's the other one, and this is the latest. Did you know there's a new command in Claude Code? It's
No.
/insight. If you do this, it's super interesting. What it does is when you do /insight, it reviews all of your chat history with it in the last period of time. And it will give you all these highlights of what do you do really well with Claude? What do you do poorly? What could you do to improve better? How could you improve your Claude.md? All your stats, like it's like this crazy feedback loop for like your use of Claude. And then what's really cool about it is it helps you actually use it better at kind of scale a little bit, right? Infinitely personalize your utilization of Claude Code in your environment, which is super interesting because it's sometimes hard to know, like, what skill should I be making, or how should I be handling hooks, or how should I da 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 da. So the insights feature is a very, I think, a super interesting product pattern,
Yeah.
because for two reasons. One, it's software building software, right? It's literally building itself for you to use it better.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
like the self-improvement
two,
loop.
yeah, yeah, it's the robots building robots, and then it's also just like like anyway skills in some sense, and these types of things. It's like software on demand, right? Like things that you can just do and build and program infinitely personalized. So, yeah, those are my two takes there on cloud stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Whoever's the PM and the engineering team over at Claude is just kind of crushing it because all these features just show up and no one's asking for them, but they're like each one is like this one is also good. I'm gonna see how I can use this. It's
Why
just
do you
like
think
this
that is?
thing. Like I already feel behind on Claude Code because like in the last 2 weeks I haven't really used it. So I already feel behind of just like not using it and like being in VS Code just pounding away. It's crazy.
Yeah. I track my slash usage or slash stats quite a bit. I ran out last week for the first time of my $200 credit, like for the full week,
No way.
thanks to Claude OpenBot. But yeah, that was my first time using it all. So
Yeah.
it's like kind of hard to use it as a non-developer, like all of my Claude tokens each week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's enough. Um, yeah, it's kind of like, when I think about like, launching a project and starting a business, like, how would I hire people now knowing all this? Like, I would only look for people that are like, yeah, just, I can just talk to this thing and build it a prompt and throw it in Claude Code and then let's go have lunch and come back. Like, maybe not go lunch, do everything else. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting building a company right now. Like that would be the interview. Just sit down with them and watch them use Claude Code or Cursor or just like what is like do this generally complicated task and let me see how you would accomplish it with everything with every tools you have at your disposal, right? I think that'd be like the
Hmm.
perfect test for hiring someone.
That's a super interesting paradigm. I remember interviewing someone a year ago, and he kind of made this comment during the interview that kind of annoyed me. And I was just like, well, I can just use AI for that. And it was basically his way of saying, like, I just won't think about that. And I'm like, why am I hiring you if AI can just do that? Right. Like,
Uh,
tell me why you're better than AI. You know what I mean? Tell me
that's,
why I can't just get the answer from ChatGPT. You know what I mean? And
that's
so,
funny.
kind of the implications of that for the future, like, yeah, why should I hire you versus an AI agent? Like we got to be better than it, right? Unless it's just
Yeah,
purely like attention, like reliable human only attention mechanisms or something. Who knows? But
yeah,
yeah, it's super weird. And that's why it's like, right now there's not enough AI native people, but I think showing people like building stuff like we are on our podcast and talking about this stuff, I hope that it helps people get into it and realize the value in it, because there's so much potential there.
definitely. Awesome. Well, should we start the building?
Let's start the building, dude.
Awesome.
I'll pitch you this idea, and that is, so there's this platform, and I think, did I tell you about getlate.dev?
Get late.
Yeah. So getlate.dev is a way to programmatically post content to any platform from AI. It also has embedded analytics and calendars, so it can become kind of your central command center for all forms of content. You can have multiple profiles. So for me, for example, I have like 4 businesses, and then I have like,
Yeah.
for each of those businesses, all the profiles hooked up. And then they also have an open source version of this with the SDK. So that way, if you want to just take it, copy paste it, and build it into your app, your experience, whatever, you can do that. I would say, so you're thinking of kind of a content flow. Maybe the challenge just needs to use getlate.dev in some way
Yeah, I
and
like
produce
that.
content. Do you kind of like that idea? Because I
Yeah,
think this is really valuable for people who might want to post content and use AI, who feel friction with traditional means of,
dude. Can I borrow your swarm?
we'll cut that. We'll cut that.
Yeah, obviously.
Sounds good. So challenge criteria for the Claude Off is must use late API, and it must be a system that does push content to an actual platform. Like, you can give me video, it can be written, and bonus points for other additions to that. So how's that sound?
Yeah. It's a content off. It's a Claude off, baby.
So I'll demo mine. My thought was I wanted to make a AI agent I wanted it to be able to post to LinkedIn, comment on people's LinkedIns, just be a LinkedIn bot in the ether of the world, and, perhaps be attracted to my posts more than others whenever I post. So can kind of pad my stats, but also just out of curiosity, can I build something in the marketplace of people that can interact with them and produce value that is determined by me? And that just starts with some of these simple functionalities. So my product will generate content and then have some engagement tactics. Some of the restrictions were that it can't actually go be a agent in the wild. It's all contained to my account from an engagement point of view. So that was some learnings in the process. And then while it was cooking on this,
Yeah.
I used Kimi K2 I took the requirements as soon as I finished this because I used a Ralph plan and a Ralph loop. So there's actually like Ralph planning mechanisms now where it will just like iterate on the plan. And then there's a Ralph obviously delivery. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I did that, but I took the Ralph plan and I gave it to Kimi K2, which is actually really good with vision and text. It's a really good model. I said, make AI native dashboards to complement this product. So
whoa.
here we have a chat based
Dude,
experience
this
where it's
your thinking is next level. It's like it's like one step higher than mine. Like I'm thinking in terms of like simple automations, and you're thinking about automations on top of automations. It's like a higher level thinking than I have. So yeah, cool.
that's the beauty of hackathon type environment, right? It kind of forces constraints. It kind of forces you to think, how can I, what must I do to get to my end goal? It's like workflow AI scheduler. Describe what you want to automate. Post my blog to LinkedIn every Monday. Generate. And yeah, this is not functional necessarily. It's just vibe coded UI on the front end, but kind of a cool product format for this type of automation that we built. And then the last product experience was the intelligence dashboard. So the concept here is it's a feed of all of your analytics across your platform that we've been engaging and building automations around. You can see our engagement rate, weekly reach, and response time. And this is just really cool to have all of this data all in one place across all your profiles. If I do
Holy
make a
crap!
swarm of LinkedIn agents,
This is all from that API key.
this is all just mock-up
Oh,
data,
gotcha,
but
gotcha.
this is the concept. But it could be done. It could be done based on the requirements. And then chat with the data. That's what everyone wants to do these days. And what's the best way to do it? Well, a lot of opinions, but ultimately, how can we get highly intelligent AI to give us reliable indicators or information based on our business? That's my product. What I would do differently is make sure my demo actually works before initiating the time.
I think I really love what you presented here because like again, it's kind of easy to do um what I did, like, just create, like, an end-to-end process where you give it an idea and it uses an API to create a video and then post it for you. Like, but, like, your idea is so, like, one up a level to where, like, it's kind of complete automation and AI on top of your automation to make it smart, plus analytics, plus a dashboard, so, like, you have UI versus, using a command to kick things off. Like, it's just a higher level of thinking. Could you just flow you went through with your commands and stuff?
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
go into plan mode? Like, I'm kind of actually interested in that.
Yeah. So I started this command called my open code Ralph plan. And then I gave it the docs. I said, research the docs. I want to build a LinkedIn AI agent that can comment on posts, engage with users, and carry conversations. How might we build that using this platform? I downloaded the robots.txt or whatever, the docs basically that are in text file, and put it in the repo so it doesn't have to go use the web. And I said,
Yeah.
this is part of a Claude Off challenge. The requirements are there must be some automation, content created, and posted to a platform. That's the only like functional requirements I gave it. And then because I'm an AI agency, think about valuable use cases as an AI agency, and let's create an MVP for this system. It's literally my only prompt. Put it into Ralph plan. It came up with basically a requirements doc. This is the concise version. Talk about what it is, what the features are, how it works. Again, our core requirements that I told it that it must have, architecture, etc. I reviewed this, said looked good. And then I did tell it optimize for an early demoable feature and let me know when the demo's ready, because sometimes it can take a long time, and then continue to build. And then I put it in both Ralph mode, which means it will persist until it's completed all requirements. And I put it in ultra work mode, which also gives it the ability to invoke multiple agents and sub agents as it builds this. And that helps it
Holy
build
wow,
more things faster.
that's
And
insane,
then,
man.
okay, this is just like what I'm cranking out every day. So,
Yeah, it's way more advanced than my use. Like way more advanced. I think you should like actually give yourself some kudos for like just like your approach here and how you've kind of incorporated like the kind of the more edge or sharp edges type of like capability in Claude Code to where like I would consider you like a top 1% user just looking at this and just like consuming Claude Code content. Like it's such a step above like what I'm consuming that it's actually super impressive.
yeah, I appreciate that, man. This is fun. And
Yeah.
I nerd out on it, but it's also like a result of just, I think, tinkering and hitting rough edges and realizing just like, man, what's my way of doing this? So I find these helping the AI help me smooth through some of the processes can kind of help me get a little bit further quicker and less bogged down. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can go ahead and start sharing mine if we want to transition.
well, let's do it.
Cool. Alrighty, I'll start sharing my screen. Okay. So I think probably the easiest way um
Do you got some
to
music
under
playing?
do I?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Is there some
The weirdest background noises just came up. You're good.
um
Cool.
ooh, I
Sorry
don't
to
know.
interrupt you. So what'd you build, man?
No, it's all good. Just looking for the first comment here. So essentially what I asked, so my kind of process flow is to either go to chat or Claude to get my initial prompt. So I gave it the link to Get Latte. I said, use Get Latte to automate my process to produce content for my startup with Claude Code. Keep it simple and something I can build in 10 minutes. So it generated this for
Nice.
me. I just copy and paste it into the context and started chatting with Claude and clarified what I wanted. That I wanted a very simple process to kick off a command, ask me questions about what I want, generate a script, let me review the script, and then once I approve the script, go ahead and generate the video and post it. So you can see in here, I refreshed Claude. I did the slash content command. It said, let's create your video. I gave it the topic. It asked me a question, who my target audience is, what are the 3 to 5 key points that you want everyone to hear, right? All these questions to kind of hone in on it. And eventually I went through and approved the script. So it generated me a
Nice.
script that is, I don't know where that script is. It's a MD file some here. So here it is. So this is a script that it generated. I didn't review it, but in my process, right, you would go into the MD file, review it, um, and then kind of jumping back here, I approved the script right here, and then it moved to video generation, generating your video now. Phase 5, opening the video for your preview. So it opened up the video for me. Let's see what it produced.
Life's too short to juggle apps. Pay this. Book that. What you could just text it. Meet AI agents that actually do stuff. Text pay my parking ticket. Done. Order my usual coffee. That's what
Yo, that's awesome.
no
Let's
new
go,
apps.
dude.
Prompts. Just text like hey AI. Just text it
Come
done.
on,
The waitlist now.
dude. Hey, that's the.
It's almost so bad it's good, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
that's the worst it
so
will ever get.
I know, but I honestly love that video because it's so bad. But so that's a video generated. So like ideally in this process,
Nice.
you would go through like there's all these settings within the Gemini API where you can really tailor it. provide like
Mm,
JSON file with context and styling. Well, that's how you get the Google VO API to generate a good video is you got to prompt the hell out of it. So one way this could be enhanced, right? You would kind of build out a test mechanism to kind of refine the prompts that you give it by generating images. And then when the
mm,
images start getting good, you move on to video and you're like, try to get good videos. And then you have that kind of context, those JSON files for context of how, the content should look. Let's post to YouTube. Here, let's post it. And let's see if it works.
the big reveal.
Uh-oh. Latte issue.
Da, 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 da. The learnings for me on mine is have me give you all prerequisites before we begin building, just to force it to bring these types of potential problems to the beginning. Because a lot of times, if it
Yeah.
doesn't have what it needs while it builds, it'd be like, "Oh, we can't test it. We'll have them test it later," and then it just like keeps going. It's like, no, 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 no.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you bring that up. One of the things I'm thinking about, like, side projects and actually creating a startup, like you said, there's so many stupid problems you could fix. I actually am trying to build this very startup. And when I start to think of like, okay, I can Claude Code something, but like real infrastructure that can scale with security that's SOC 2 compliant. One of the things on my to-do list is find a PRD process where I can not only like give it the like a very long requirements doc that would be SOC 2 compliant that I want to use Fireworks for my API, I want to use Amazon for an S3 bucket, make sure it's like has the right you got to log into AWS and do all this stuff, like all the planning for that in one place. And then on
Mm,
top of it, I also want to include like what the experience should look like. So it does like kind of all the agent orchestration, like the onboarding agent versus like the agent that you'll actually use. So like
mm.
that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around is like how do I put like a PRD plus kind of the experience together to essentially build like an enterprise grade application that's compliant and can scale and I can
Oh,
test and
totally.
code to
Yeah,
GitHub, have a like do everything right,
yeah. And you're saying you want to build a system that helps you punch out those PRDs and knowing for sure that they you know got
Yeah,
meet
because
every
once you get it
requirement.
right with one of the agents that like it's like you have a model with agent orchestration and one of the tools like you have all sorts of different tools. One of them is like even the
Mhm.
ability to make your own MCP server to then do something for you. But then like also be flexible enough to like remind me every Tuesday that I need to do XYZ. And once you kind of get that right for one use case, you can then just copy it over and over for whatever use case you want.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And yeah,
Es-
so that like, but you need to
Especially,
build it right.
yeah, having AI know example of obviously what good looks like if you have a internal doc that kind of annotates that, and obviously if you're especially if you have one very closely related to the same tech stack, like that's golden. Have you made any skills yet?
Not for that, no.
Yeah. It's what comes to mind. I've been thinking a lot about skills lately and how, is something like that a multi-step skill? Yeah, I'm curious, like the orchestration of skills that would help you reliably generate documents with X criteria,
And that's where I kind of go back to like the OpenClaw use case. Because like it just if you created a persona for each part of the stack, both front end, a persona that has all the documentation for Fireworks, has like all like the documentation for AWS, and just like spit that PRD and experience doc into a Claude code or an OpenClaw, whatever that looks like, to like have a swarm kind of battle each other and test it and like I don't know. That's where it becomes like those different personas that like, that you forgot to test the API and you don't want to get to the end to test it. Maybe it can find like those sharper edges that you wouldn't really find unless you have that like different personas.
totally. And it's like, has that ever happened in real life without agents? No, like that we built a product and kind of got, halfway in or even three, very far
Oh
in and
yeah, for
realized there
sure.
were some edge requirements that
Yeah.
weren't there, right?
Yeah. But every software is like that, right? You're constantly
So isn't
pushing
it
that.
interesting that we have almost a different standard for AI agents than we do for ourselves
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
retro?
You're right. Yeah.
But you're right though,
So
like it is ideal for it to all be fleshed out.
yes, but to your point, there's an element of Claude Code where, like, you can overthink it, and, like, even right now, I already have, like, a very robust PRD document, plus, like, I already have what I envisioned, and it's just like, dude, just start doing it, and just, like, build it. Like, you don't need to, like, reinvent the wheel, like, you've already described the most detailed parts of every piece of the process, the stack you want. It's like, just throw that in a file and just start doing it. You can always just, like, scrap it if you get halfway through and yeah.
I
Over-engineer it or
agree. You were so ingrained with that, right? Like, oh, the auth structure and da 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 and the schema is like the goal of it is to solve my problem and get leverage on time. And if I
yes.
can add to it in increasing ways to get leverage on it, then it serves me. And the cost of totally tearing it down and rebuilding it potentially is even smaller. There's also this phenomenon of what I can build now versus what I could have built 2 months ago and 2 months before that and 2 months before that and 2 months before that. Like, just our measuring stick for like what can be done, like continues to like shrink over time as we look back. And so there's like this, I think it's like build for like, depending on the tool and the platform, like your angle, focus on value is super important because like,
Yes.
yeah, if you commit to a 12-month roadmap, I'm sorry, but you don't know what's happening 12 months from now.
Yes, dude. I
In
mean,
the
you
details.
would know
Yeah.
the best just as a product, like, that road mapping must have changed.
Yeah.
Just the whole, like, no one's talked about the word waterfall in fucking they're never gonna say the word waterfall again.
Software.
But yeah, I really like the exercise today, and again, like, love how you like, how I kinda think about that is, like, fast and slow thinking. Like, one way is fast and the other way is slow thinking, but, like, sometimes slow thinking produces, like, a more meaningful result. So it's, like, to me, it's always kind of the balance of those 2 is, like, fast versus slow thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this was fun. Definitely, I know we kind of decided to do it pretty quickly, but I just like that it's practical, right? Like these are things you want to do anyways. You're learning new
Yeah, ho
tools
like,
and
this is stuff we're gonna do anyway.
now everyone who's watched, can see a new tool stack of how they could get, from prompt to production for content that they want to share. So I think it was really a lot of good learnings in this session.
Yeah, yeah, well, we took bets on how many views we would have last video. Let's check that out.
Oh, what is it? I haven't looked.
View your channel.
What's
45.
45? All right, all right.
45. But yeah, no, I guess the 500 or 100, I forget, but,
I think mine was
um,
100.
yeah. But, yeah, enjoyed doing it this week. I love, like, staying indexed on let's just build stuff that we want to build in our lives anyway, because then, like, it just becomes a good use of time, and, like, I don't know. Personally, I'm learning a ton from you, so really kind of enjoying this series and how people are getting value out of it too.
I like that. I got to experiment with Kimmy K2 a little bit, and I was pretty impressed with those UIs. That was a shocker for me, honestly. Those were very impressive for how much effort I put into it. So, yeah, great time, man. Great session.
Yeah,
And then yeah, we'll see what happens and changes in the next week in the world of AI until our next episode.
sounds good, man. Bye.
Sweet.